What is up, everybody? Getting back into the swing of the vlogs. And my word, well, two words for today is open hands. You heard me talk a little bit about our conference at the Belonging Church in Nashville over this past weekend. It's just so inspiring. Chris Durso brought down the house. Heard a lot of the new songs. God really showed up in a big way. But my two words that I got were open hands. Now, so many of us in the industry have had this pattern of walking into projects or deals or relationships with clenched fists, and I'm very guilty of that. I've walked in like this, but nowadays I'm trying to approach everything from a standpoint of open hands. How can I walk into a situation not asking what I can get out of it, but what can I give? I want to be there to serve. Um, Open hands also means that you're being inclusive, that when you find something that's working for you, like a project or an artist, um, a label, a relationship, you're not just hoarding it to yourself. You're saying, okay, I've got this thing, I've got this lane, I've got these people that trust me enough to hire me or to invite me in on co-writes. So it's also going to be bringing along other people. It's being inclusive. It's not being exclusive. Now, I think Nashville as an industry, and really just the music business in general, you could be watching this from any city in the world right now, but I think Nashville and the music business has been actually pretty bad at this. I think honestly we're seeing a shift. We're seeing a shift towards people that are becoming more inclusive, being more open-handed, and looking to not hoard, but looking to give back. So I want to be a part of that. I think Full Circle Music is already a part of that. That's why we do the Full Circle Academy, and that's why we do our events. We do our songwriting retreats and our production retreats to literally just pull back the curtain and show people, you know what, we've learned this stuff. We've learned some quote-unquote secrets. We've learned some tips and tricks by sitting behind the consoles and behind the just being in the presence of Grammy-winning songwriters. We've learned all these tricks. Now, the old way would have been to hoard it and to try to ride this thing out for as long as possible, because you only get like 8 or 10 good years, right, in this business. Isn't that what everybody says? Well, I actually don't think it has to be that way. I think the careers could be a lot more sustainable, and they could be longer lived, and they could be as long as you want to do it if you adopt an open-handed mentality. Because why? Well, there's a saying my friend Ben Calhoun always says, you lift enough other people up along the way, they'll tend to take you with them. And I've seen that happen time and time again. And it's not serving out of the sake of wanting something back. It's just serving for the sake of serving in itself is the right thing to do. Now, I've been in the situation where I've helped a lot of people out, and I've given more than I maybe had to in certain situations, and I didn't get something back from it. And that's happened over and over again, but you know what? That's okay. That's just the God right way to do things. So regardless of what you get back from it, just go into a situation open-handed. How can I serve? How can I bring my friends into this? How can I bring people who aren't even my friends into this? And how can I just be a bigger blessing to people than I'm being blessed? So that's kind of my word and my challenge for today. I do think that's a God thing. I think God is speaking that to the music industry, whether you work in Christian music or not. And that's another thing. We talked a lot about this weekend. The whole theme was cover the earth. And there's a lot of people in our church that are doing that through ways that are not in Christian music or in worship music. There's a lot of people having major success in the film and TV world. I've recently become friends with an artist who I'm a huge fan of. Check her stuff out. She's called Fleurie Music, Fleurie Music. And I just think it's amazing. She shared a story of how she's literally walked into pretty much every situation, including a record deal and a publishing deal, when she didn't have a whole lot going on, and she got exactly what she was asking for. Why? Now, The lawyers will probably just say, well, it's good negotiation. The label people will say, well, she's got this trajectory on her socials. Now, I think the real reason, when you peel the layers back, is because people, when they hear her music, they just feel peace. Whether it's on a trailer of uh, a major blockbuster Hollywood movie, or whether it's on a advertisement for Sprite, whatever. People hear her music and they feel peace. Now, I think that's a God anointed thing. I don't think that's by accident. And she has been very open-handed, and that's how she's impacting the world. So hear me say that maybe your calling is not to have songs on Christian radio or country radio or songs that are sung in church. Maybe your calling is to do music that's completely outside of that. And here's the thing: if nobody's given you permission to do that until now, you at least have my permission, whatever that means. This is me saying, go do whatever you feel like you're most passionate about. And you can carry God, you can carry a message of hope and light to the world through anything in any lane that you're doing it in. Now, I do think there's lines and there's boundaries that we're not going to cross if we're believers and we're songwriters. I always tell people in the country rights that there's certain songs that you're probably not going to hear my name attached to. I'm probably not going to have the next whatever partying chicks, trucks, that whole thing song. That's not going to be me. I'm not going to be attached to that. I want whatever I have my name a part of, that it'd be something I'd be proud of if it was on the front page of USA Today or the New York Times newspaper, that I'd be proud of it, and I'd be proud to put my name behind it, and I'd be proud to put my faith behind it. I'm not saying you have to go all legalistic, but my point is this. My point is, you can impact the world with your faith in any lane. Don't feel like you got to get boxed in because other people are saying you've got to fit a format or you've got to fit a radio thing. Or Spotify and Apple Music have been such a incredible catalyst for change in our music business, where people who maybe didn't have a lane before now have a place to be heard and actually a place to make a living. And isn't that what we're all after anyways? Is we love what we're doing. We got into this for a reason. We came into music because we wanted to give the gift that we were given, these songs, these ideas, these visions, and ultimately we just want to make a living with it. So Spotify and Apple Music have been a big part of that. But speaking of Spotify, Apple Music, look up Fleurie again, Fleurie music. Her stuff's amazing, and she's going to be an artist you're going to want to watch out for. So that's my word for today. Open hands. If you guys feel like you're approaching something from a white-knuckled, clenched fist mentality, just try and loosen up. Just let go and see what happens. I guarantee you that it may not be the easiest thing in the short term, but it's the long game. It's always the long game that matters. And I think that's the God way. I think that's the kingdom way. And I think that's the way that ultimately, honestly, brings the biggest success, if you want to talk about success in the music business. So, open hands. That's my word for today.